Day by day, our lives has been changed with the technology and digital transformation. When it comes to the virtual world, it is through that we all are connected via social media. Social media has become a huge source of news, shopping, and general entertainment. So take a moment to rethink as we need the social media for day-to-day life for the betterment of our future. Let's celebrate 30th June 2021 World Social Media Day.
The revolutionary way of communicating, social media. Since its creation, people have been to connect each other with never like before. Friends and families can connect at any moment around the world with a digital device. And the marketers have been able to connect to their customers and clients worldwide with entirely the new fashion and trends. Greetings from real life. This is Jasmine from Real Life TV. Today is 30th of June and World Social Media Day 2021. Please join with us and also share this link with your friends and who are interested in social media to raise the awareness about digital transformations and social media. Objective is to recognize the social media's impact on global communication and bring the world together to celebrate it. So that's why we want to know about social media indeed, and it has become a huge source of news, shopping, and general entertainment. And we have a very special person to discuss this topic today. She is Indu Nanayakkara. Welcome to Real Life TV.
Hi, Jasmine. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Hi, everyone.
Yes. So let me introduce about her profile. Indu is one of the leading industry experts in Sri Lanka on social media and digital marketing. Over 11 years of experience and expertise in 8 years of digital agency experience as the head of digital marketing in the top digital marketing agency in the country as well as the startup agency. Aside from being a social media marketing consultant for entrepreneurs and personal brands, conducting online courses and in-person workshops, Indu is the co-manager of Google Business Group in Colombo and the country lead for the Women Will Sri Lanka, a Google initiative in collaboration with Google Business Group worldwide. So I welcome again and thank you for joining with us to raise awareness about social media and let's discuss. So
Thanks,
my
Jasmine.
first thing comes to you about how this social world that we call the virtual world or a social media world, how it has been come so far and the real world and popular as the virtual space for people around the world.
Okay. So if you go really right back to the beginning, this entire topic called social media was made possible by a technology innovation in the webs, in the interwebs or online, what you call it. So it's called Web 2.0. So what it means is the development of the web was made possible with this introduction in a two-way communication. So when with what you call Web 2.0 was the birth of two-way communication. So at that time, the social networks we know today and is very popular did not even exist. It way back in that time, it wasn't the social networks that we know today. It was really entities like blogs, forums, chat function. So these were the networks that were really the precursor to the social networks or social media that we know today. So the idea being that, okay, the first level of internet was I have an entity like a website and I can communicate with you. I can put a message across and you can read it, listen, hear, watch, whatever. The second way was I can communicate to you and you can talk back to me as the owner of the website or whatever. The third level was I have a website or entity and the public can communicate with each other through my entity, web entity. So that was the birth of the true social network where users could communicate with each other, not just the platform. Right. So back in the day, as I said, it was those, chat, blog and forums and things like that were the more popular ways and means of social networking. And then came, I think the first proper social network was a very short-lived entity called 6 Degrees back in 1997, if I remember. I didn't even know that it existed, but I do remember in 2001 there was Friendster, and then came MySpace somewhere around 2003. Even though I believe LinkedIn was founded before, it was like not even heard of because it was a very professional social network, but it was not, nobody even knew LinkedIn existed. But MySpace became so popular. And by like 2006, it was the most visited website on the planet, right? But around that same time, Facebook, came to place. It was actually initially only among university students in the US, and then around 2006, it was open to public. And by 2007, 8, it really skyrocketed its growth. MySpace was nowhere to be found. And to this day, Facebook is on that high journey. Nobody could pass Facebook in the numbers game. So today we have like a plethora of different social networks. I think the significant few that died were, I think, Google Plus, and there was Vine, and several of these social networks are no more. But we still have, Facebook is still number one from, back in 2008. It's still number one, and its sister network, Instagram, is around, I think, 1 billion usage. And then we have, Pinterest to even YouTube. YouTube is like a combination. It's a search engine, and social network. Or it's a kind of a mix in one, but it's also considered a social network. And then we have some of the latest entrants would be TikTok. That became really popular, and right now I think the very latest I would say is Clubhouse, which is gaining really great popularity now that it is open to Android users as well. Yeah, it's gaining high popularity. Yeah, so that's where we are right now.
Oh yeah, great kind of a flow that we have come so far with this social media. I think many of us connected, and with the different platforms, we are having different accounts, and I think it's a very good space for everyone to share the good things, right? So what are the very powerful points that you can highlight, right? The use of our time and money on social media, that we spend our time and money on social media every day. So what do you think? What are the major and the powerful facts?
So you're basically asking, why should people bother or worry about social media, right?
Yes. Okay. Because many people use it for connectivity, but beyond that, what are the major benefits that we can get through social media?
Right. Yes. So social networks are definitely a great way to connect with your, friends, family, business connections, any other connections based on different skills. Let's say I'm an accountant and I want to connect with accountants around the world, or based on hobbies. I'm a stamp collector. I'm a figurine collector, and I want to connect with other people around the world who have the same passion. So it's a great way. Social networks are obviously, with the name network, is a great way to network with people not just in your vicinity but around the world, right? But apart from that, the secondary most valuable use of social network is in marketing, right? So that one of the fundamentals in marketing is like, okay, you market to where the people are, right? That's why the so-called mass media, right? TV, radio, newspaper, along with that magazines, and other forms of media, right? They exist because people watch them, read them, listen to them, and people are using them. The usage of people is there, and therefore brands or companies can put their advertising material, communication material on those platforms. So what happens is, with the addition of social networks, you can see the data that the use of, people who watch TV, listen to radio, read newspapers, have dwindled down like nothing. And the usage of social networks have gone steadily up. So what happens is, now people are more on social networks rather than on traditional media platforms, right? So this is the whole birth of social media marketing. This is why social media marketing came to place, because now marketers realize, hey, we're not getting as many views on TV, or listenership on radio, or readership on newspapers, but then there's this entire area called social networks where people are there, and we can put our information there. This is what Facebook really, nailed down on, opening up their platform. First of all, free to businesses by introducing business pages. Before that, groups, but right after that, business pages. It was free. It was organic visibility. Everyone loved it. People went, into millions of, friends and followers on Facebook. And of course, the other social networks followed. But right now, it's all based on, mainly based on advertising, especially on Facebook. If you don't spend money, it's like pay to play. If you don't spend money, you really can't get any valuable visibility, unless you do some extraordinary activity on the network that you get organic. I mean, people start sharing it because it's either so entertaining or so educational, whichever way, it's highly valuable, then it goes viral. So a very quick example would be the Ice Bucket Challenge that ASL organization did a few years ago, and that activity went viral. Their marketing budget was like almost near zero, but it went viral around the world. Top celebrities took part. So those kind of things can get you organic visibility. So now, should marketers really take these social media seriously? Let me give you a few statistics on that. So if you take the global population, right? Global population around is around 7.5 billion, right? So out of that, the total internet population is about 4.5 billion. Okay, I'm giving rough numbers, not like exact numbers, because today it's like 4.667. Tomorrow in a month it'll be 4.8 something, So I'm giving rough numbers. And then the source world population 7.5 billion. Okay, internet population 4.5 billion, and the social media population, social network population, is close to 4 billion. I think around 3.9 billion, but close to 4 billion, right? So you can see that pretty much over half the population on the planet is online in some format, and almost the same number, like probably 500 million less, is also on social networks. Okay, now there is this massive global population. So roughly we could say half the world is online, half the world is on social media. So that's a huge number for any marketer of any brand to consider. A significant number that is a good enough number for them to focus on, hey, I can do lots of marketing to this half the population of the planet. So now if you go down to the different social networks, if you take Facebook, there's close to 3 billion, actually 2.85 billion, the current data that I found, around 2.8 billion. So let's say close to 3 billion of the population is on Facebook, right? Because it's gonna get to 3 billion very soon. Then on Instagram, we have about a 1 billion population, right? It's significantly lower, but it's still there. And if you go to a different side of social network, let's say LinkedIn, which is a very niche social network, it's for professionals. That's about less than 1 billion, of course, 740 million. And then if you take some of the latest players like TikTok, again, obviously less than 1 billion. TikTok has around close to 700, like 689 is the stat I found for TikTok. And then if you take Clubhouse, which is like even newer, it has about 2 million around January. But now it might be much higher because they just recently opened it to Android users. So it's probably like really like skyrocketing right now. So I don't have the stats right now. Yeah, so those are the stats if you take different social networks. So the thing you need to consider as a marketer is, where is my audience, right? Are they on all of these platforms? Are they on certain platforms? So don't forget, there's YouTube, there's Pinterest, there are these other Twitter, these other networks as well. And in those networks, you need to have like, country specific, as in geography, age specific, gender specific, all of these different audiences. And if you take how interested are marketers in advertising on social media, the latest stat I found in terms of global social media ad spend is $90 billion US. They are actually predicting this year it would be $90 billion US, right? That's a huge amount, right?
Wow.
I think sometime last year, global ad spend on social media surpassed global ad spend on mass media. That was, I think, last year. We were waiting for that moment and it happened and it's already passed. So now officially social media is a leader. And couple of more stats. On average, there are about 7, 8, 9 different social networks one person has an account on, and per day a person will at least, like on average, be on a social network for about just over 2 hours, right? So that's a significant number. Another very interesting number is that 91% of social media users are accessing social channels while through their mobile phone. So these are some very interesting statistics for marketers to consider, because there you understand where your audience is, and that's where you need to spend your money on, and if not money, your effort and time on, because it's a growing platform. Someone can argue, say, okay, Facebook, what if Mark Zuckerberg closed down Facebook? There'll be a new social network tomorrow and it'll skyrocket like nothing, because half the population is online. It's a matter of minutes for them to create a an account. And people are more prone to social media. They're not skeptical like back in the day. They are really quick to adopt new social networks when they see that it's beneficial for them.
Yes, Indu, and especially this new generations, coming generation. So they tend to use the digital, the media and this social media for their education purpose as well. Sometimes
Yes.
they browse more contents on it and then get more ideas and quickly capture the knowledge gap, and they are growing. That's the one kind of a the advance, the kind of a benefits that they can get through the social media for the positive way, right? Yeah. So beyond that, the marketing and the education. So what else that individuals can benefit from these platforms?
Okay, so if you take education per se, I won't say it's limited to social networks. It's the entire internet, right? So there are certain places, like for example, YouTube is one of the really popular social networks where people learn a lot of things, because there are tutorials, there are explainers, there are all types of things you can learn. I think YouTube might be the most education focused popular social network out there. But apart from that, there are other entities, like there are blogs, right? There are so many blogs that have, the opportunity for both young and old. I mean, yes, youngsters are more prone to, like, they are more online savvy, and if the moment they think of something, the second thing they think is, let's Google it, right? So and older people will, like, call and ask someone, or whereas the young person will just take the phone and Google it. They don't wait till someone else will think of it and give the answer. They know the answer is out there, somebody knows it, and they have published already, right? So this is just the mindset gap. But apart from that, apart from blogs, then there are podcasts, right? So podcasts are not really popular in Sri Lanka yet, but globally it's highly popular. The reason being, you can do something else while listening to a podcast. So it's like the next best thing to radio. You can drive while listening to a podcast. You can exercise while listening to a podcast. You can walk or wait in a line while listening to a podcast. So it has become one of the best ways to communicate knowledge, opinions, and a great way to learn. Similarly, like, ebooks, audiobooks, and even on-demand video content, online workshops. So many things are there. If it's a matter of learning online beyond social networks, there are so many things. And the role of social networks in this case is the sharing of that knowledge. Hey, I have this podcast if you are interested in learning about horse rearing. Hey, I have this blog if you want to learn knitting. Hey, I have this audio book that I'm giving away that talks about how to take care of your skin. So there are all social networks play a major part in this knowledge sharing, because it brings these entities to where the people are. So that's the advantage of social networks when it comes to learning that such knowledge based entities are out there, and to discover them.
Especially in this kind of travel restrictions around the world, and having this COVID pandemic situations, it's the best way that people are not get bored. They can connect with each other through the social media, and also they don't want to stop their studies, and they can actually continue their career, and then actually they can feel that they are not isolated. They are also part of the people around them, and they can actually get benefit from this social media to the maximum because of the situations that we are facing at the moment.
Yes.
So what do you see in our country, in Sri Lankan context? What are the gaps and barriers to get these benefits to the maximum level? Maybe the technological gap, or maybe the service providers. We are getting the lack of facilities through the internet. and we are connecting and breakups, and what are the other kind of gaps and issues that we are facing at this moment?
Yes. So one of the biggest things I hear when it comes to these online schools is the device problem, right? So let's say there are two kids in the house. The mother is working online, father is working online. You need four different devices, right? That's not easy for a regular household. Okay, so that's one
Yes.
big challenge that we have in terms of finances. Okay, and the price of these devices are by no means cheap. And at the same time, internet usage. So if four people are on a Zoom call, right, at the same time, the bandwidth of whatever the internet service provider that is being used, and the total internet consumption, and every single day, you're talking about a massive, internet bill at the end of the month. So those are the two practical things that I can easily point out, which everybody knows, right? But apart from that, I also see a lack of knowledge and a lack of support, right? So by that, what I mean is lack of knowledge means, okay, let's say a few years ago, what was the most Googled word by Sri Lankans? Do you remember that really terrible way of topping the charts by Sri Lankans? And it was almost like a disgrace. Like, is that all what we do with the internet? Right? I wouldn't say the word, but if you Google it, if you remember in the past, you will remember what that word was. But that seemed to be what people are searching the moment they get Google, a device in their hands. So you can see the mindset of the general population. I'm not saying everyone, but the majority, otherwise the statistic won't be there, right? So a lack of knowledge by me, by what I mean is by that what I mean is like, why are we always thinking about like some one or few random not so positive things to be searching online? Gossip and that. Okay, those are the two things. I mean, if you go to Alexa and see what are the leading websites that are searched by Sri Lankans, there again you will see these two main topics leading the way, right? And me as a Sri Lankan and as a human being, I feel like, is that all we can do, right? So I feel that we need to kind of build a culture that is curious about knowledge, right? Curious about, I mean, what's happening in the other parts of the world, like, and what are the places we can visit? Have you ever thought what might be there in Siberia that you could visit? What are the people, what do people eat there in such cold weather? Can they actually heat water and make tea? How do they do that? Like, people don't think of these things, like basic stuff, right? Get curious about how to catch fish. How do you make friends with a horse? Like, there are so many things to learn, and not just like, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to learn about a subject, but that just goes to show the lack of knowledge Sri Lankans have on a particular subject. But that's not the only thing we can learn. There are so many things to learn about business, about mindset, about growth, self growth. How do I manage time well? How do I talk to my boss if I want to get a raise? So many things are out there. You won't believe there are so many topics out there, right? So we can learn all of these things apart from everything else. So that's why I say lack of knowledge is there. We don't know what we don't know, right? And lack of support. There aren't enough people to guide the youngsters, guide the older generation of what we can do with the internet, what we can do with social media, constructive things that will really benefit us in different ways, in terms of knowledge, in terms of finance, and in terms of career growth. Mothers can learn how to manage difficult children, right? So there are so many things out there. Without the knowledge, we suffer like, "Ayo, how do I do this? How do I do this?" But if you just search, you will find a few answers, right? So things like that. That's why I say like lack of support, because we don't have people who will tell people, look, there are so many things you can do. And then
And Indu,
there are, yes.
and now we have the real life network of mentors and speakers like you to share the life coaching experience for people and direct you the right directions in life and learn the
Yes.
new things and get the benefit for your life and have a good lifestyle and the mindset change.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. We
Yes.
need more channels like Real Life, because, I mean, one channel can't reach out to all of the people. So we need a lot of different channels talking on lot of different angles to various audiences, to younger audiences, to people at home, to older audiences, so business people. So we need a lot of channels like Real Life to
Yes.
educate and support and show people what they can do, right? And there's so much of scope out there. And a third, let's say maybe a third thing, or what do you call it, obstacle, I would say, is on one side false beliefs, and on the other side limiting beliefs, right? So um, uh, so false beliefs, with by false beliefs, what I say is getting online is dangerous. Yes, there are reasons, but it's not dangerous per se, right? There are situations. Getting on the road is dangerous. Hello, right? How many accidents do happen a day? How many vehicles are going zooming past you when you're walking on the road? Like, you should be staying home and like, no, I don't want to go on the road. It's dangerous, because
Yes.
any of those 10,000 vehicles can knock me down. Yes, there's
Yes.
always the that. But if you know, if you're vigilant, if you're watching the road, and if you know which side of the road to walk on, making sure that you take safety measures, you can survive the road. Okay. So
Yeah.
similarly, if you if you gain the knowledge on how to navigate online in a safe way, right, that is the crucial thing you need to learn. I'll just give you a couple of examples. So obviously, when you create an account, whether it's an email or a social media account like a Facebook account or any other account, you need to make sure that you're using an email which is secure, and the password of that email is safe. uh, not 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 your child's name or your pet's name or your dad's name or your boyfriend or girlfriend's name. It has to be like with all caps, simples, special characters, numbers, at least 12 16 characters long. So all of these things, right, you have to make sure those fundamentals are sorted, that your online navigation is safe and nobody can hack your account and go into your personal data and all of that. And then you have to be mindful of links, because there is phishing links. So people can bait you with a link and get all these things even if you're secure. So that's why you have two-step authentication. With almost all of the social networks, you have two-step authentication. So you have your mobile, they send you a digit code, and then even if someone gets your username and password, they still can't get your account because they don't have that code coming into their phone. And then be mindful of what you do online, who you talk to, what you tell them. Don't tell personal information to complete strangers, for God's sake. You don't even know who they are. They could be like pretending to be a boy or a girl when there's some completely else. You never know who's on the other side of the screen, right? So you have to be very, very careful, guard your personal detail like it's gold. So these are some of the good practices when you're navigating online. Just like you have to walk on what side of the road, you have to use the pedestrian crossing when you're crossing on the road. So like that, good practices, same thing applies to online. And limiting beliefs, by that what I mean is like sometimes they may think, oh, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't know how to do this. Trust me, there are really old people, I have seen to my own eyes, like people I work with, old people who didn't, I mean, we had a, I won't tell you which organization, but we had a new marketing manager who was a bit of an older gentleman. He didn't even know how to switch on the computer. Within a year he learned how to navigate online, and like so it's not like you can't, it's there's nothing like you can't do. Everything is possible if you just think it's possible and you spend the time to learn something. Everything is learnable. So yeah, so I think those are few of the things apart from the obvious.
Yeah, the social media has become the way instantly connect with each other. So often the friends and the families, but also as you mentioned, with complete strangers. So because of that, you highlighted this point. I just want to ask, and your recommendations for the young generation and the teenagers of our country and the around the world to how to use these social media platforms.
Are you talking about in general, or what to do if in case of a crisis or something like that?
Yeah, like for just before something happens, as you
Okay.
said that there are some prevention things as well, and if something happens also, what are the other steps that you
Okay.
can take to protect yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
So prevention wise, definitely know what you're getting into. Learn about what you're getting into. Let's say, okay, you're using Facebook for the first time. Read up a little bit about it. Like, okay, what is it like? Like, how do you use it? How do you best use it? Okay, so what I would say in general, just like I said earlier, there are certain things to be to put into place before you get started with something. Say, for example, if you're opening a new account on Facebook, or if you have an existing account on Facebook, learn what people can do with Facebook, right? What are the positive things can people do with Facebook? What are the negative things they can do? Like any other social network, let's say you're curious, okay, what does Clubhouse do? Like, what's it all about? Read up on it, like find out what it can do for you. Find out any pitfalls, like pros and cons, what people do with it. Can it help you in some way? Let's say, especially if you're a business owner, there are definitely ways any social network can help you. But if you're not a business owner, maybe you're a student, or maybe you're a grandma, maybe you're a work at home mom or dad, or anyone, right? A student, just see what it can do for you. Like how what can students learn from Clubhouse? How can stay-at-home moms use TikTok in a good way? Like, so search, find out, learn. Learning is the first step, right? Learn about everything and anything. Is whatever you do, just find out what you can do, because there are details, documents online about everything right now today. Like, everything is pretty much online, so you can learn about a lot of things. And so that's the first step. And the other thing, like I said, make sure you have a very safe password, and you don't share it with anyone. Do not share your password. You're not obliged to share it with your spouse, or your, I mean, if you have a parent, if you're under 18 and if you have parents, definitely you'll have to. But if you're like an adult, you don't have to share your passwords with anyone. You're not bound by any law to do that, and it's your personal right to keep your password safe. And definitely have that two-step verification on, so in case somebody hacks it, they cannot still get into your account unless they know that code, right? And make sure the email that you're using for that account, to log into that account, that is also safe, and that also has two-step verification. So one of the most secure emails is Gmail, in my experience. And of course, yes, I'm in Google Business Group, but at the same time, why I use it is it's a very secure email. But there are other emails also out there, because Some people may not like the fact that Google collects personal data. Some of us are okay with it. Some of us are not okay. So then there are others very secure emails out there which does not collect personal data. So you can use one of those emails. So make sure you use one of the state-of-the-art emails, not one of those dinosaur emails, to make sure that your accounts are safe. And
something happens, it's
yeah, that's what I was getting into.
Yeah.
If something happens, right, talk to people. Don't keep it to yourself. If something happens, even if it's an unfortunate, really bad, embarrassing situation, still there might be one or two people that you can trust. Your parents are 99% of the time trustworthy, or one of your teachers, or in an educational institution who you can trust. If not, I'll give you a quick thing. There's an entity called Hitavati that was launched by Facebook in Sri Lanka. So they are a very good place to go to if you have issues. SL Cert is another place, although I've heard like speed issues are there. But still, those are two great places to go if you have any online issues. Hitavati, which was launched in support from Facebook itself. It was launched in Sri Lanka. I was there for the launch. It was launched at the ICT agency. So it's definitely a noteworthy place. If you have any issues online, especially for women, if you have online issues, any harassment issues, you can take it to them. So there are also support groups like Bakamuno is a good place. Women in Need is a good place. So there are lots of entities that are helping people who have faced issues online. There are support groups. There might be friends that you trust. And there's also the general public. Sometimes, I mean, if there's some issue happen, you can ask for help. You can tell people. And also there are let's say your Facebook account is hacked. You can complain to Facebook and say this account is hacked and please shut it down. There are ways to search. So this is why I tell you, before you get into this network, do your research. If my account is hacked, what is the next thing I can do? Make note of these things. Write it down somewhere, save it in your email or whatever, and then do that, right? Always have that safety precautions ready. Okay. And yeah, so taking it to law authorities is one thing, but apart from that, there are support groups that will help you. And most of the people, public, are very sympathetic people, understand there are issues like that. So always ask for help. Don't dwell till the last. Do not go into the the last resort of nothing is worth your life. Nothing is worth taking your life. So do not ever think of that. There are so many other things that can help you. That's the most important thing.
And that's why even Real Life Sri Lanka is giving you this guidance and direct you to the right way, how to protect yourself before things happens, and getting some kind of embracing movements that you use in these kind of technology in your life. And also just wanted to make sure these teenagers, especially when they use this TikTok and many social media, do not share some unnecessary things, like even you expose your own feelings, your some kind of photographs, whatever, and some kind of your videos. Maybe I have seen some of the TikToks, mainly focusing on the entertainment, but sometimes it may be some kind of challenge in your career and your future. So be mindful, especially as a teenager, if you are using these platforms, and as well as the parents have the kind of a responsibility to think of their children, and especially when they are using this internet and social media, to follow them up and to see how they are behaving in this virtual world. Especially like the real world, the parents are the life coaches and the best lifeguards for their children at the virtual world as well, right? So And Indu, I just wanted to ask you, because this is the best kind of a point that you are engaged in this digital marketing and social media domain. So do you see that the local businesses, especially the SME sector, entrepreneurs, and taking the maximum of these benefits of the platforms in Sri Lanka?
Repeat that question again.
Yeah, so in this the Sri Lankan contest, do you think that the local SMEs, the businesses and the entrepreneurs are taking the maximum benefits out of these social media platforms and uh, leverage of this uh, the, the availability of the customers and the client in worldwide?
I honestly don't think so. Not just Sri Lanka, actually. In most countries, as you see that, as you look at the data and the way people use social networks for their business, I see that they are not utilizing social networks to the best of their ability, right? Especially the older organization. I see that startups, which are mainly formed by younger generation, they are quite tech savvy, quite social savvy, online savvy. They know how to navigate most of the time. But when it comes to companies run by the older generation, like older mature companies, whether regardless of their size, small or medium or large, how I see is some of the company, a lot of the companies, they don't use social media the right way. One of the like easily point easily showcased examples could be like, okay, they take their TV commercial and slap it straight into Facebook or YouTube, right? Or take their newspaper cutting and straight away take a screenshot or scan it and then upload onto social networks. Now, these are typical no-nos when it comes to social media marketing, right? What you need to do is you have to create platform specific content. So platform specific as well as social friendly content. So if you just take a television commercial and just slap it on Facebook or YouTube, yes, you can do that. You can get people to watch it, but it's not. It's just a commercial. People watch it and pretty much it. If you want, what you want to do is you want to get visibility, and how you get visibility is by people sharing your content. And who is going to share a commercial? Honestly, tell me, are you going to share a commercial? Not me, right? Unless the commercial was really entertaining, right? Then there might be a chance. So you need to make sure, regardless of what you put on TV, because people just sit and watch there, when it's on social, the first thing you need to think about is, are people going to share it? Visibility. The more people share, the more people connect, engage with it, the more people will see. So visibility is number one on social networks. So there's like a entire formula, like, there should be a hook and there should be a call to action and all these other marketing jargon also. But the basic principle is will people want to share it? Will people want to talk about it? Will people want to engage with it, ask questions, respond to it? These are the things that you need to think about when it comes to sharing something on social network, even if you're taking like, so that goes actually into the making of the commercial. From the making of the commercial, let's say you're making a commercial for TV, you need to take a social media cut for the commercial, right? So basically you take a different take of the commercial, a more engaging thing, or you do a different edit for social media. So these are things you need to do when you are thinking about creating content for social media. It cannot be the same thing that you're using it for other platforms. So even if you take a different take, like the way you share things on Facebook will be different from Instagram, will be different from TikTok, because, okay, just a tiny example. in TikTok, what you do is you take a sound clip and you pretty much go by that sound clip. You act it out, you respond to it, whatever, right? So if you're, how are you going to match a commercial to it? So you need to make a separate thing for that platform. So like that, you have to make sure that whatever platform, I'm not saying you have to be present on all platforms. That you don't need. Like there were like about a 5-6 years ago, the notion was, oh, you have to be present on every single social network. Not the case anymore. You have to be present where your audience is, your buyers are, your customers are. That's it. So you can select like one even and do what you're doing it well on that one network, or you can select 2-3 networks. That's more than enough. Unless you are like a mega massive company, then you might want to consider being present on all of the leading networks, because your audience is so huge, your audience is so vast and versatile, that it's a very mass audience. So you might consider being on all of the leading social networks or some niche social networks. So yeah, from the type of content that you share and the way that this content is prepared, to the kind of language that you're using on social networks. So you need to, so this is where branding comes to place, right? Branding is such a crucial factor of social media marketing. You need to develop your brand voice with your creatives, whether it's videos or graphics or photos, with your text, that is your content, your copywriting, the text on your videos, the text on your pictures, the way you use it, the elements in those, creatives, all of those things matter. You need to build a specific brand identity. So no matter where your content is seen, even if you see someone being shared, that your brand identity is still there and it's recognizable. So a really easy example of this is Google, right? We all know Google has 4 colors, like red, green, blue, and yellow. And we all know they're like bright colored. And Google content is usually fun and, really chilled out type of content sharing. They don't do serious content. They don't do very official, serious, very corporate style of communication. They don't do that. Their communication is very chilled, laid back, fun, playful, right? They talk about Star Wars jokes and all this other fun stuff. So you need to build a brand identity. That's another very crucial way to make sure that you are really seen online, because people really connect with that personality, that brand personality, than just a mundane random brand. So yeah, there's a lot
I
to
think
talk about it. So one day is not even
talk
enough.
about. I believe that there's a many subjects area that we want to discuss about this digital marketing, and especially in social media marketing, that domain. So we have today Indu Nanakara, co-manager of Google Business Group in Colombo, and she specializes in brand development and content development, social media strategy development, and many more digital marketing specialist area. So I think, and this is the great movement to pitch your what are the services and how you can help these SME sector and the local businesses and the entrepreneurs to build up their strong brands and recognize the clients worldwide. So I think this is the best time that you can share your channels and your domains and how you can give more advices and connect with them in the one-to-one and the group training programs.
Okay. So the easiest place to find me is either on my website, indunanayakara.com, or on any of my social networks. That is, let's say, Facebook/Indunanayakara. That's like the most common place you can find me. Or if you want to drop me a message on Facebook Messenger, it's m.me/Indunanayakara. I'll send you the URL so you can have it
Put it in,
clickable.
put it in
Yeah.
this comments
So
and
how I can help you is, okay, on one side, I conduct training programs on various areas of social media and digital marketing. So let's say if you're a corporate and you want to train your marketing team to be more digital social savvy, I do tailor-made training programs based on your organization's industry and so on. So we have a little chat, what you need to, how you need to train your team, where the expertise are right now, and we can take it to the next level. And on the other side, I also provide consulting services. So these could be for individuals like small business owners, entrepreneurs, even individuals who are like, I really focus, lately I've been focusing on people in the educational sphere, like consultants, other consultants like business consultant, fitness consultant, or coaches, other course creators, other trainers. So I really like to work with their personal branding as well as their online visibility, how to get leads for them. So consulting, even for corporates, consulting is done. And the third thing I'd like to highlight is I'm starting a very focused area of social media marketing, which is personal branding and influencer marketing. So next week, I'm conducting a free training session for anyone who is looking to become an influencer or is already on their way to become an influencer, and how they can actually become an effective influencer who gets to work with brands as well as earn money online through their activities. So it's a free webinar that I'm conducting. I will send you the details on how to sign up. It's going to be next week.
I think you can share the link so we can put in the description, and also the comment phrase so people can join and gain more knowledge and expose more social media benefits for their business development. I think we actually encourage you to use the benefits of this social media and get the support of these specialists, especially like Indu out there. You can get network with them and grow as our local business sector and entrepreneurs. So I just wanted to ask you, as a person in this industry more than 11 years, right? What is your final message and kind of sharing about this movement when we are talking about social media?
Okay, so I think this is not just for social media, but for life in general. But definitely, it's very, very relevant to social media, because social media, online technology, these things change every single day. There might be a brand new social network that's introduced tomorrow and we have never heard of, and we have to learn about it all over again. Tomorrow, Facebook can shut down and all the knowledge we gained will be gone to waste. You never know what's going to happen in the online sphere. So always have a growth mindset. A growth mindset can accomplish anything, no matter what happens, whether it's social media changes, whether it's changes in your business, in your family, in your personal life. Having a growth mindset, ready to learn whatever that comes your way, is, I think, one of the keys to success in not only social media, but in most other areas in life.
That's actually our personal responsibility is the growth mindset. Have a good mindset change to accept the challenges. Whatever, there will be no Facebook in future, no LinkedIn in future, no Instagram. Don't worry about that. Bring your knowledge and the valuable contents and accept to learn new things and new technologies coming up, and develop yourself as a person with the right mindset. I think that's a very powerful message. Indu, thank you very much for joining with us today in this celebrating of World Social Media Day 2021. So please share these valuable contents and that we create about this awareness about social media with your friends and families, because we are having lots more valuable contents coming up Real Life TV to share more knowledge and raise awareness. If there's any gap, and especially I want to mention that there are some entrepreneurs and the local business partners, whoever want to connect with Indu, there's no language barrier. She can speak very well in Sinhala as well, so you can directly connect with her, right? So just wanted to thank you for Indu for your valuable time and your
Thank you,
sharing.
Jasmine, for inviting me today.
Yeah. And so thank you all the listeners today with us, and hope you enjoy this knowledge sharing. And please share this, as I mentioned earlier, please share this video with your friends, because there's education content there. So in our discussion, so you can learn something, and also you can have the growth mindset. So let's meet up again with another day, with another topic. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed.